Welcome to another Rod Talks. How we doing today? Andrea, how you doing?
I'm feeling pretty good. How are you doing?
Danny, how you doing?
Doing just fine. Thank you so much for asking.
Perfect. We have two wonderful, wonderful people here, and we just get together and we have some really great conversations. And so I have a conversation I'd like to start with you guys, and they don't have any idea what I'm just talking about. Earlier we had a podcast about the gravidoid numbers and that. But what I really want to talk about is how people just disappear in this world. I know, it's crazy. So I was watching a documentary in that, and they were talking about how many thousands and thousands of people disappear every day that are walking in trails out in the mountains and everything else. That thousands of people are missing. Why are we just hearing this? Danny?
My mind goes to, I had seen something on, I think it was Mount Shasta, and how it's a big hot spot for missing people, and that there is a long history dating back to the indigenous from that area that really covered that. And I think there's a place out in Japan too. I want to say there's a forest out there as well.
Oh yeah. What is that for? I can't remember that.
Oh,
Andre, do you know what that is?
It's some famous forest, but I'm not really sure what
I can't either. It's like Suicide Forest or something.
Yes, Suicide Forest.
That's like that,
yeah. There's a more official name than that, but
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I guess the concept itself, turns your eyes to the sky.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting here going, I was looking at a lot of this stuff, and I'm going, why isn't it why aren't people advertising this, that, hey, we have all these missing people and that? I even went on to their websites, the National Park Service's websites and that. I finally found one section talks about cold cases and that, and different cold cases and that of these. But why aren't these people? I don't know. I'm confused about this. What happens to these people? They rarely ever find a body in these missing people. So where are they going? What is happening to them?
It's it also reminds me of, I've been doing some research on, Skinwalker Ranch and all of that, and the different energies that are basically creating different vortexes and whatnot. So it's like I almost wonder, the composition of the land itself that's creating these energy voids or vortexes, essentially. It's, whether it's a beacon to people from the other galaxies, or if it's, something that's opening up a dimensional loop for us to step into.
What do you think, Danny? I mean, Andrea, that was Danny talking.
For some reason, when she was talking, I started thinking about the parallel universes, the different planes that we have. And I know that we have different planes that we're in constantly, we have different realities and stuff. And what she was saying about the vortexes, I feel like maybe since it's an energetic kind of thing, I feel like you can step into another one of your realities and leave this one. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe it's, and I feel like it's all connected. You know what I mean? I feel like the galaxies, the aliens or whoever comes from different places, I feel like they're all kind of connected in different ways, whether if they're from the same place or not. I feel like they have the same kind of concept of switching between timelines. So I feel like if you get lost in an energetic vortex, I don't know if you exactly leave Earth, but I feel like you're probably in a different timeline where you just aren't physically here anymore. Because energy doesn't disappear, or it can disappear, but it doesn't die. So I feel like if you're just straight up disappearing, you're probably stepping into another timeline of yourself. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, I believe it's dimensional, and I believe that's the same concept that Skinwalker Ranch has, that because their land is they put a battery into and they would be able to find that what did they call that? cohesiveness of energy.
What they found.
Connectivity.
Yeah, what they found was actually that the ground itself was layered between different, compositions, of just material, and that it was, itself was storing energy.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is just, it's a battery. The ground itself is a battery.
So it's naturally made up just to be a conductor for energy.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
crazy.
I mean, they actually plugged a flashlight in.
Yeah.
And were able to use the flashlight from the energy of the earth. Okay, so
Naturally.
yeah. Let's step into a little further because Skinwalker Ranch has always been a favorite of mine. I actually stopped there one time before it was owned by
Bigelow. Bob Bigelow.
Yeah. So before, it was really interesting is that it was a working ranch, but they had all kinds of things that happened there. They had, cattle mutilations, people disappearing, everything else in that. But one of the things I always was interested in is they're talking of the envelope effect. And you know what the envelope effect is where somebody's here and then they like step into an envelope and they like slide into the envelope and disappear. Well, they're finding all kinds of things on the Skinwalker Ranch. They even took a helicopter up, and the helicopter kept saying that there's something underneath their helicopter. They're flying at 4,000 feet, and they're saying that there's something 50 feet below them, right below them, and they couldn't see what it was.
So they had like a sensor or something to tell objects?
Yeah. It's the sensor altimeter. Yeah. It's used to tell you how close to the ground you are when you're landing, like in fog or whatever else. And it's such an amazing aspect in that. But then you start looking at this as how many people that have disappeared in these areas. Are they dimensional walkers? Okay. So then let's add triangles. Okay. We got the Bermuda Triangle. We have triangles all over the place. In America itself, did you know there's 8 triangles that is known? 8 triangles.
That's interesting.
It is very interesting because they're talking about people missing in these triangles. Alaska has this one, which is one of the highest missing people triangles. Is people just go into and never come back out. Well, it's like, animals ate them. Wouldn't you find their bones or something like that?
Yeah, they would just completely disappear.
Absolutely. Let's say Massachusetts has a triangle up there. And in this triangle and that, they have seen pterodactyls flying.
Wow.
They've seen these huge birds. Mothman is up in that area. Sasquatch is in this area. All these different things, and cryptologists are slipping in between the envelope effect and that. And they believe that's what's happened with Bigfoot is that Bigfoot is following this dimensional path that they're walking in between. So, as human beings, can we generate enough energy to do this ourselves? Create this kind of dimensional walking?
Well, I'm not sure if it's exactly us. I feel like like you said, dimensional walkers, I feel like some people might just be incidentally in alignment with whatever energy's there, or the energy just happened to be weird that day and it could take whatever it wanted, or like a certain thought or something like that, whatever mindset or something that you were in, or something coincidentally happened that would shift your frequency and to fit what it would take. I feel like it would definitely be easier for dimensional walkers to slip in and out of things, but I'm not really I feel like it probably depends on the circumstance, and like I feel like it has to do with how things are going in the world right now.
Right.
You know, like different patterns of people missing, and like whether or not there are a lot missing at one time or a few or like multiple people, you know what I mean? So I feel like it has to do with more of the energy around it than like just the people.
Oh, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
So where's this energy coming from? Where's it coming from?
Well, I mean, the stars, I feel like might have something to do with it, but I think like we're obviously shifting frequency right now, like as a collective of people. So I feel like whatever is happening in the world, like energetically could be having an influence because there are different ley lines and like different connections. So I feel like if something is out of whack or something isn't completely in alignment or shifts the energy, it might take it. You know what I mean? Like if something, like if the energy across the world changes, it has to have a polar effect on the other side. So I feel like if something is being given too much on that side energetically or something shifts that, it'll start moving in different places.
Oh, absolutely. You agree with that, Danny?
Yeah, I think that sounds right. And going back to, energy can never be created nor destroyed. It's transformed. So I've really been kind of just sitting on that thought with the idea of the envelope theory and walking through, you know what I mean? It's even a transition or transformation of ourselves as well, So it's just a really interesting concept to really sit back and debate on.
Right, exactly. That's, we hold so many secrets within ourselves already, and I think Andrea and I have talked about this in past podcasts about how just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Okay. Mm-hmm. What is actually in front of us? What are we actually seeing that we're not seeing? But our higher self is seeing this stuff. Okay. So all of a sudden I have a fear to go camping. All of a sudden I have a fear to be in lakes and everything else because I know there's something else there. Mm-hmm. Okay. Why? What is this fear from? Where did it come from?
I truly believe I've had a couple of experiences myself, especially, and ironically, when I do acupuncture, for some reason it seems to really align my chakras, and I've become very aware of parallel universes, parallel dimensions, so be it. But it's made me very aware in my conscious as I move around and whatnot. So I'm always thinking about the fact that there is several versions of me going through different experiences in different dimensions and how we are all related and tied together. I mean, because if time is just a concept that we have created, in space as well too, what's going on in those other dimensions affect me as well. So for me, it brings me back to that thought process and the fact that my consciousness goes beyond this plane.
Yeah, like you can tap into things that you don't even know, like your other selves can transmit information.
Yep.
Huh. What does that leave America? What does that leave humans? Where does that leave everybody? Where does that leave them? If everybody believed this, what would this world be like?
Probably a lot more peaceful.
I don't know. I feel like people would kind of lose direction because I feel like the whole concept of time and like knowing things and like knowing that you have a path here and what's in front of you is what gives people a sense of direction in like the human aspect. Like unless you're like aware of all this stuff like this and like are completely tapped into everything, I feel like just the concept, like if they just accepted and knew about the concept, I feel like it would freak them out, might make them lazy, you know what I mean? Because they might be like, oh, if I'm in a different timeline, I'm probably awesome. Like, I'm probably super successful. And they might assume things having no clue what's going on. Right. You know what I mean? So I feel like if people were aware of it, but weren't exactly spiritually awoken to it, I feel like they might have a difficult time comprehending it and might get lazy with this timeline and might not take it as seriously and might just be like, oh, things are infinite. Okay, I can just like mess around, and they won't really take things as seriously. And understand what life is really about and just let go, which is good. But I mean, let go in the sense of think things don't matter.
Wow, that's pretty profound, I would have to say. What about you? Do you think the same way?
I could agree to that, but it's like my heart and soul just goes to that haven where we all do accept and leave kind of that 3D thought process and move into that 5D thought process and just accept and just, I guess really pay homage to the masculine and feminine energies, and just, sit in our feminine energy to, manifest. Like, I mean, obviously that's my wish and will for the world and society in whole. But I would definitely agree that there was a thought process, a process really, that's going to play out for, it's a mass awakening. Our concept that we're speaking of is truly a deep mass awakening. And while I think that it started, we're scratching. It's a scratch and sniff sticker at this point. It's the surface, Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're saying that people are going to be lazy. You're agreeing with that. It's just it's wait and see.
I feel sorry.
No, sorry. And it's not even so much of a laziness. It's also a lost. You know what I mean? It's like, where do you go when we lose the constructs that we have, that we've built, for that direction? It's like, what replaces it?
Exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna look for a replacement. Yeah,
exactly. And I feel like what I'm saying is that that would be if people now accepted that. Like, if people were awakened to everything, and if they were in alignment with the concept of everything that energy and how things work, and not just the societal standpoint, I feel like it would be easier. Like she said, awakening, I feel like people would have to be at a certain level of consciousness in order for things to be peaceful. I feel like if people who understand things from a 3D perspective right now knew about that kind of stuff, then they'd be lost, and then they'd have no direction because they wouldn't know what to do. But I feel like once they get to a certain point of understanding how things work, past the 3D, then things would be able to do what you were saying, the peaceful kind of alignment, everybody manifesting and be happy. I feel like that would raise the vibration a little bit more. And I feel like it would make things a lot easier. But there's also an aspect to that I feel like that would I feel like complete peace would kind of defeat the purpose of Earth. You know what I mean? I feel
That's interesting.
Yeah. I feel like we all should be awakened to a certain degree, more than we are now. But I feel like complete serenity would just completely take away any of the challenges and obstacles, because we'd already be there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like complete enlightenment would kind of defeat the purpose of learning from here, because we would already be so aligned with ourselves that all the lessons that we needed to learn would already be learned. So I feel like having the difficulties and having the learning lessons and difference of awakenings and consciousness is what creates the the walls that we need to go against, and the shifts and the things that we need to use to grow. So I feel like that would kind of I'm just saying that I feel like complete peace would completely take away the purpose of Earth to grow and learn through challenges and stuff. I definitely think it should be a little bit more enlightened than it should be, and I think we're going in that direction. But I think complete awakening and enlightenment is more for different places than here.
Right.
And just tap into that.
Absolutely. So I want to read on that aspect. I want to read something that has been popping up on Facebook a lot lately. And it's called Beware of the Fake Light Workers.
Oh, yes.
And so my thought, is first of all, is if everybody stayed in their own lane, everybody did their own thing, and everybody worked on themselves, nobody would have to, nothing else would have to be done, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, just stay in your own lane, do what you need to do. And that's my concept, my thought period. But this is the kind of thing that gets put out there for judgmental and making labels. And I'm not a label person. I do not like labels at all. But here, beware of the fake light workers. Light work isn't talking about love and flowers and doing yoga and going vegan. It's about going into the darkness of the world, and most of us ourselves. So if you are on social media spouting the rhetoric of all time that only have safe conversations, only care about being liked, and only surrounded by smiles, you have little to no light. Kind of harsh, isn't that?
A bit judgy.
Yeah.
Very bit judgy.
Yeah.
Light comes when you do the work of transmuting that darkness within yourself first, understanding and coming to terms with it. So here's another aspect that people take is the light comes when you do the work of transmuting that darkness, okay? So there's people out there, and I've run into them, it's like, you need to heal yourself before you can heal anybody else. Mm-hmm. That's what this is about. This is what they're saying, is that you have to do your work before you can help anybody else. Mm-hmm. The concept of energy work and everything else that has been the process of this. Give a healing, get a healing. Mm-hmm. That doesn't sound like to me that I have to work on myself before I can work on anybody else, does it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so just bear with me. We're on the same page there.
Yep.
No amount of hippie music, New Age BS, memes, or Burning Man festivals is going to do that. You got to have some balls, go into the darkness, and deal with yourself first. So I've done many shamanic journeys. I've done all these shamanic things and everything else. Now, this is about going into the darkness. This is about your shadow side. This is about working within the dark. What if you don't believe in the dark? What if you don't believe in that? This is the concept that I'm getting out there, is like, you only see what you believe in, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we talked about here. Mm-hmm. This is what we're going into. We only see what we believe in, right?
Yeah.
So just because it's not there doesn't mean it's not there. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Danny? You got that look in your face.
I am. I'm waiting for you to say one more thing for it all to pop into my head. So.
God, slam your fist on
yeah, I know.
Like, yeah. So basically, this meme is telling us no amount of hippie music, no HBS means Burning Man festivals, blah, blah, blah. I have to agree with this. It doesn't, I mean, sure, people are out there saying actions are greater than words, right? I'll see it when I believe it, blah, 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 blah. Well, what I see, because I'm open-minded to things, isn't just because what I want to see it. Mm-hmm. I see things because I'm open to it, to seeing everything. Mm-hmm. The goodness, of all. I don't tend to see the negative part of it. Mm-hmm. Because what you look for, you will find. Mm-hmm. You want me to find something wrong with you, Andrea? You want me to find something wrong with you, Danny? You want me to find something? I will. I'll find something wrong with you. Mm-hmm. I don't think I can, though. Okay, because my heart won't love me, because that's not who I am. But this construct of this is saying, I can find something wrong with you. Mm-hmm. I can find something wrong with you. That's not a light worker. It starts out, beware the fake light workers. This is the concept that I have a problem with in this world right now, is people are saying, I believe in this. My consciousness is this. It's in writing. I saw it on TV. I saw it in the news. This is real. No, it's not. What does your heart say about this? My heart said this is BS. My heart says this isn't the way we're supposed to follow things. We follow our heart in all aspects. Love is the only thing. Love is the light worker.
Are you saying you disagree with the meme, or you disagree with the concept of the fake light worker? Are you saying you agree with the meme, or you disagree with the meme?
Sorry, you guys can probably hear the dog shaking in the background there. He's fine. It's fine.
Very cute.
We have a cute little visitor here. So every once in a while you may hear the dog shaking in the background. He's watching us as we're doing our podcast. So anyway, back to your question, do I believe in it? Am I believing in this and that? No, I believe that we should never judge anybody. It's like, they're saying you're wrong. This is how you're a light worker. Mm-hmm. Well, you're not a light worker if you're telling somebody else that you're not a light worker. Mm-hmm. If you're telling and delegating somebody saying, Danny, because you don't do this by the book, you're not a light worker.
Yeah.
Oh, who cares?
But what about the intention of the person? You know what I mean? Someone who would be hiding behind the label of light worker. And I could even say off of that myself is that, you know, for anyone who doesn't have the best intentions and moves forward and is influencing somebody, it's that person's lesson, you know, like it's a karmic reaction in that sense. But that would be the only thing that I could think or say. Would be it's the intentions behind the speaker.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like I think because I've been seeing this a lot on TikTok because I watch a lot of TikTok videos about this kind of stuff, and I see different types of people and I see different opinions of people contradicting each other. Like certain people that I follow who I resonate with will contradict each other. You know what I mean? And I, like she said, I feel like it's intention, and I feel like the meme is addressing more of the trendy aspect of light working and all that kind of stuff. I feel like they're more saying the people who haven't done it or aren't actually in alignment with themselves and just act like they aren't light workers. I feel like that's kind of what it's saying, which I mean, I don't agree or disagree with that, but I feel like with what Danny said, I feel like the people who act like they are, I'm a light worker, listen to me, I'm so juju, you know what I mean? I feel like people who are
juju.
I feel like the people who are like
juju,
like just mojo, like energy kind of stuff.
Oh, gotcha. All
I
right.
feel like people who pretend that they are and use it for like attention or for like fame.
Yep.
And yeah, like she said, intention. I feel like people who act like they're one thing just for attention and aren't doing it for the good of people.
Are we saying
those are the
attention
fake
or
light workers.
intention?
Well, you have to have the intention of good, but people who are doing it for attention aren't good.
Right.
And that comes to the intent, the opposite
exactly.
intention.
You have to do it because you want to help people, and you have to do it because it's like actually something that you feel. It's not because you're doing it because, oh, this is going around, this is popular, I'm going to add on to that so people think I'm a great person, you know?
It comes from a sense of entitlement as well, too.
It's more
you know?
ego-based.
Oh,
you know?
100%.
And I feel like they see it popping up and their ego tells them, oh, I'm awesome. I can do this. I believe in spiritual stuff, you know, and they're like, I like flowy vibes and I like this pretty music and I like feeling like I'm Zen because it's cool. You know what I mean? We're in a stage where people think that's cool and it's an easy trend to hop on. And I feel like people who do it for that rather than seeing like the good in life and like trying to actually make a difference, I feel like that's what separates a quote unquote fake light worker like they were talking about versus a real light worker.
All right, I got to jump in. I know, Danny. I know you got something.
Okay.
Because this is right on. But first and foremost, this is the conversation Danny and I had on the way to home the other night when she dropped me off, and that's we use these light workers as excuses. Whatever is what it is what people say, that that's an excuse. We're using excuses and hiding behind light worker thought process, and that, well, I'm a light worker, so I must be able to do this or whatever else. That, well, I'm a light worker too, but I don't want to be called a light worker. Don't label me, because labels become limitations. You start labeling things, it becomes that limitation. Now this is all you're going to be. My dad, all he was a milkman. That's what he was. That was all he was.
Yeah.
Ron Lyman, the milkman. And that's how everybody knew him by. Oh, you're the milkman. We aren't what we do. This is that concept. But I've also noticed in there, and I know this is going to go with what you're going to say, Danny, because I have a feeling this, is that being arrogant and so confident will make you blind. When you're so arrogant and confident about what you're doing, I'm a light worker, this is what I do, it will make you blind. Blind to seeing anything else. It's the same as putting a limitation to something. And you're limiting this. When you're so confident that this is the story that I'm reading out to you right now, this meme that's on here, I'm so confident this is right. You're blind to everything else. I'm sure there's so many other ideas now, but go ahead, Danny. I'm sorry, I didn't need that.
It really hit me when Andrea was talking is that, is the individual, is the quote unquote light worker, are they creating that, or are they letting themselves be the vessel for creation?
Exactly.
And that's where you really got to listen and feel that out. Information is information, but is it coming from the heart? And with everyone's intuition, I feel that we have a handle on feeling that, you know what I mean? So it's really getting in tune with yourself and feeling that interaction, that transaction between the two people.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like it's a lot more, like some people think that they're spiritually, I'm doing this for great things. And like you were saying, like ego, but like you were saying, like heart to heart, like with people, you know what I mean? You're making a connection. I feel like some people will try to do this from a standpoint of ego and not even realize it.
It's exactly it.
Yeah,
they're
like,
creating the
exactly.
situation
They think
versus
that they're being so helpful and they think that they're being in alignment with the universe, but they're just doing what they think. Everybody does what they think is in alignment with the universe and what they think is the universe, but they make themselves God. You know what I mean? They act like they know what's best and they pretend that they're the vessel. I'm the one you should listen to. You know what I mean? And those people are the ones that aren't connected because they're listening to their ego, their 3D self.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what they're definitely not connected because they're fully in ego because they're just trying to make a name or they're just trying to like promote themselves and they're using it as like a platform that covers up everything else. It doesn't go through all the way. It's a surface level identity.
It's forcing their own agenda. It's a projection in itself too. It definitely. We can go on and define the ego all day long.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Yes, exactly. But that's exactly
fun.
what we're conceptualizing. Yeah.
So Eleanor and the puppy that were watching us do our podcast here and that, she puts out the same time that you say it. She puts out. She hands me this message. It says a false agenda based on ego.
Yes. There it is.
Isn't that what you just said?
That's
too?
exactly what I said.
False agenda based on ego. So what does this have to do with missing people? And people going missing and the Bermuda Triangle and all that. See, we started with that.
Yeah.
And we went off to this, but what does this have to do with it?
Well, we're so, caught up in our own agenda and our own self-fulfilling prophecies that we're not even seeing what's really happening around us. Yeah.
Ta-da.
Yeah. And the capabilities, the possibilities. We're talking vortexes, and energy and envelopes to different dimensions.
Absolutely.
And yet we're so honed in on our own self-discovery advancement that we're missing a huge piece to that puzzle, potentially. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's this whole thing in this world is that there's a lot of people missing things. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I know you've heard me talk about the consciousness, right? The four consciousness.
Yes.
So can we add another consciousness, you think, to this?
Ooh.
Should we? What?
That sounds exciting. I don't know.
To add another consciousness?
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, is that the four consciousnesses we're working with in this world right now, according to some guru, all right, I forget his name, but he came up with these four consciousnesses. The Mary Magdalene consciousness, which is about love, compassion, and caring. That's one consciousness. The Jesus consciousness, which is the teaching. We people teaching out there and sharing these ideas with people and everything else. The Pontius Pilate consciousness, which tears down all the goodness and that only sees horrible. And they're, you know what? Pontius Pilate consciousness are the ones that are on Facebook correcting my spelling.
Yeah.
That's okay. They can do that. Helps me, keeps me on my toes. Okay? Yeah, good grammar and punctuations is by these Pontius Pilates. So Pontius Pilate consciousness is tearing things down, and then we have the hollows.
Yes.
And the hollows are the ones that hear something and repeat it. It's the concept of, hey, Mom, why are you running that water in that sink there? You should be using your dishwasher because you're wasting 4 gallons of water every 5 minutes, where a dishwasher doesn't even use 4 gallons of water in its whole cycle. It's like, oh, where'd you hear that? Oh, it's commercial. That's a commercial. And I've heard 2 people say that to people. It's like, don't rinse your dishes. Put them in the dishwasher. Don't clean them off. Put them in the dishwasher. Run the dishwasher twice if you need to. And I sat there and I was like thinking to myself, okay, are people so involved in what they're being told by a hollow, that they no longer have their own thought process towards anything, right? Their thought process no longer exists because TV is telling them what to do. The same person, I found the same person because we were talking about toothpaste with this person. And the same person gave me the graph on what good toothpaste is the best according to 10 dentists. They're the ones that are telling me, well, smarter people than me are researching this. Smarter people than me are doing this. When we become so arrogant and confident in things, we become blind, and that's a hollow. That's somebody that's not seeing what they need to see. And it's not for me. It's not for me to say, Andrea, look over there. See that? That's a monster. Our Danny's like, there's something behind you, Danny. It's been here the whole time and everything else. Unless you're asking me to tell you, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what I see. Because I don't want to be so arrogant and so confident in what I see. It makes me blind to other things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys got this look.
It's a way of being. It's a form of just it's humble, and not only that, but it's not taking that individual's opportunity to learn the lesson themselves. It's stepping away from arrogance in a way as well too. And I had something else, but it slipped my mind. Yeah,
right. It may come back.
Yeah, it might come back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm really excited about this stuff. I mean, because the more we dig into this stuff about understanding who we are, and that makes me understand who other people are. Okay. But now I asked you, should we add one more?
Yes.
Consciousness to that? So which conscious do you think we should add? What should it be named? Because we have the compassion consciousness. We have the teaching consciousness. We have the people that just break things down, consciousness, sees negativity. And then we have the consciousness of people just repeating it. What should be the 5th consciousness?
I would put my vote in for a dimensional consciousness. Yeah, because we aren't existing just on this plane and other planes as well too, and interacting. And, there are people growing every day with these abilities to, reach out.
Well, now, doesn't that go hand in hand with all these people that are disappearing and missing?
Absolutely.
And because now that becomes the consciousness of dimensions. Okay, it's interesting. We had a spiritual intuition class in here the other day where we got to practice our intuition. We had so much fun with it. I mean, that was a blast. That who was here? Were you guys all here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because you gave me a ride here. Anyway, somebody said I couldn't feel this woman. Where was she at? Until I said to her, "You're a dimensional walker." And then all of a sudden, the person that was trying to read her, I think it was you, Andre, actually, was trying to read somebody and said, "Oh, is that why I couldn't read?" Or was it you?
That
Danny?
was me.
That was you.
Yeah,
Danny.
that was my
Sorry.
reading.
I don't think.
I was
Yeah.
like, I wasn't quite picking up on it because she was so far gone. People slip into dimensions. Now, that does not make them a hollow.
Mm-hmm.
That they're just hearing and repeating. They're not really hearing that. It makes them a dimensional walker. And I see that happening so much is dimensional walking. Like, why are people seeing Tactodorians, whatever, the dinosaurs coming out, and where's Bigfoot, the envelope effect and everything else? That's all dimensional. I think that's pretty darn cool. Don't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. So shall we leave it at that? And shall we move to have another podcast another time about something else? We always pick out some great stuff to talk about. And I think we should. I think this would be a lot of fun. Topics that we have. If you guys have a topic that you'd like us to talk about, send it in. Let us know. You go to ReikiRod.com. You can see everything on there, what you need. We have classes going constantly here at the Reiki Academy, and that's where we are live right now at the Reiki Academy, sitting in a corner, having a little puppy and a lady watch us as we are doing a podcast. Woohoo! So, yes, we're right off of Cave Creek, so in Phoenix, Arizona, and we'll have a lot of fun. What are you looking at?
It was 4:33.
Oh, 4:33. Yeah, it's times. We've been talking about numbers. And I think that could be another segue into another podcast as we talk about numbers and that. So, Danny, thank you for being here. You want to introduce yourself, by the way. It's at the end of the podcast. We always introduce. We don't introduce at the beginning. Who are you?
Oh, thank you so much for having me. First of all, this has been a treat, honestly, a meeting of the minds, truly. So I am a coach, a healer. I am just stepping out on my own. It's been a life calling, and as always with any awakening, trials and tribulations to get to this place. So it's all about embracing, loving, and moving forward. I've been doing this for several lifetimes, and I will be bringing all of it together in this lifetime to help, the mass awake. We are going through this, as Andrea was saying, this frequency change right now, that masculine to feminine energy. So this is where my heart is, where my heart lies, and what makes me happy in my day. So thank you again for having me. It's been
thank you, Danny.
a blessing.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And you do bowls, right? And,
I do.
Yeah.
Yes,
I heard a little birdies talk about earlier that maybe you and somebody else might be doing some bowls and musical instruments here at Reiki Academy.
I heard that little birdie too,
Really?
and yes, I am so excited.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what do you call a concert that has to do with bowls and flutes? What kind of concert is that?
Jeez. What would you call that? Not acapella, but acoustic.
Acoustic. Acoustic.
Yes.
I love it. I love
Yes.
it. Thank you. And of course, Andrea, she's a wonderful person that works with me all the time. She does some great, amazing stuff. I'm really impressed by her work and that. Andrea, introduce yourself, please, to everybody.
Hey, I'm Andrea. This was a lot of fun. I don't normally get to talk to people about kind of concepts like this, so it's been a lot of enlightening information, and I like the whole back and forth mind connection kind of thing. So this has been a lot of fun, and it's definitely super interesting. Very good topics. I'm really digging it.
Right. And I think the dog puppy's name is Karma, right? Karma says hi, everybody. She's wagging her tail and that, looking at us and that. And she's trying to get to Andrea. I don't know why, but come down and visit us. Go to ReikiRod.com. You can also call me at 480-788-9580. That's 480-788-9580. You can contact us and ask questions if you would like. If you'd like to be part of our podcast, and that, let us know. We have capabilities of calling you even if you'd like to. That let's get this going and let's get rocking and rolling. Okay, this is Rod Lyman with Reiki Rod from the Reiki Academy. Love you all. Have a great night. Bye bye.